morning. We will begin our service with the ringing of the temple bell. At this time, please silence your cell phones and listen quietly as the sounding of the kanshō is an invitation to settle our hearts and minds as we prepare to receive the Dharma. Thank you.
Namandam, 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 namandam.
Aloha. I'm Bart Aoki, and I will serve as your MC for today's Obon family service. As explained by Reverend Blaine, Obon is a special time to remember and to celebrate our continuing relationship with departed loved ones who have been born in the Pure Land. Obon is truly a joyful celebration of memory which can offer us wisdom for living. A warm welcome this morning to Reverend David Fujimoto for flying all the way over from Oahu to be our guest speaker. Mahalo also to all of you who are attending in person as well as virtually. Assisting Reverend Blaine at the temple with technical support are Zoom crew members Alan Matsumoto and Darren and Lynn Katayama. Corinne Chong is our organist and Betty Takeoka will lead the singing. Please rise and let us start the service with the Vandana and Tisarana. Please chant both the Pali and English parts together with Reverend Blaine.
Bhagavato namanda, Vutnamanda, 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 Vutnamanda.
Please remain standing for an aspiration which will now be shared with by Reverend Blaine.
Please join me in Gasho. We gather in the spirit of aloha to remember our loved ones who have awakened in the pure land of enlightenment. We express our deep gratitude to them and reflect on how our lives have been made possible and enriched by their presence. During Obon, we remember where we come from and who we come from, celebrating life and the enduring bonds of love that continue on. Obon is truly a joyful gathering where both the living and those born in the Pure Land celebrate in the universal embrace of great wisdom and compassion. As we take time to remember and reconnect with our loved ones with deep appreciation and joy, we reaffirm our commitment to becoming good ancestors as well, understanding that we are links between the past and the future, constantly creating the conditions for future generations. As we celebrate the infinite causes and conditions that sustain our lives, may we come to understand the truth of impermanence and sincerely trust in the compassionate vow of Amida Buddha living with the Nembutsu in our hearts. Let us strive to listen to the Buddha Dharma with not just our ears, but with our entire being, and aim to embody the teachings in everything we do for the well-being and happiness of all. I go to the Buddha for guidance, the one who shows us the way in this life. I go to the Dharma for guidance, the way of understanding and love. I go to the Sangha for guidance, the community that lives in harmony and awareness. Entrusting the dynamic working of all-inclusive wisdom and all-embracing compassion, we call the honored name of Amida, the Buddha of infinite light and life, with gratitude, joy, and awareness for the great enlightenment in the life to come. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda.
Please be seated. To honor our departed loved ones in joyful remembrance, I will now read names submitted by Sangha members. Please observe a period of silent reflection during this time. Shunji Adachi, Kazuyoshi Ethel and Dana Aoki, Yasuo and Setsuko Deguchi, Kevin Deguchi, Yasunori Deguchi, Roberta DeMello, Jane Emiko Fensky, Earl Fujikawa, Alan Harada, Keith Hayama, Shikimi Hayama, Melvin Hayashida, Yasuo and Hatsuyo Higa, Yonekichi Iwasaki, Shigemi and Nobue Kaitoku, Charles Katayama, Chaki and Seidi Kato, Christine Kawakami, Wally and Miyoko Kusano, Tokutaro and Naka Kusano, Yoshino Masutomi, Tadao Masutomi, Patrick Masutomi, Glenn and Ann Matsumoto, George Matsuoka, Misu Matsuoka, Bunsaku Matsuoka, Millie Morimoto, Sally Murakami, Junichi Nagano, Norvin Nakashima, Jace Nakashima, Tsuyoki and Chizu Nakashima, Genevieve Nishi, Ellison Onizuka, Mitsue Onizuka, Masamitsu Onizuka, Ross Owe, Risaburo and Matsue Sakata, Norman and Marilyn Sakata, Albert Sakata, Sueo Sakata, Roy Shimamoto, Wilbert and Troy Shiraki, Satomi and Hatsuyo Takashiba, Herbert and Masako Takiue, Nobue Teshima, Roy Torioka, Fred and Clara Uechi, Nozomu Uemura, Sharon and Terry Walden, Elsie Watanabe, Lloyd Watanabe, Violet Watanabe, Noboru and Takeo Yamamoto, Toichi and Chise Yamamoto, Kokichi Yamamoto, Gilbert and Aiko Yamane. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. It is now time for the offering of incense. We invite all Sangha members in attendance to please come up and offer incense if you wish, starting with the front rows and moving towards the back. Let us now observe a moment of silent meditation.
Namandab, 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 namandab.
Reverend Blame will now lead us in chanting the Sutra Sambutsuge. Words can be found on page 47 in the Jodo Shinshu service book and on the screen. Again, page 47 in the Jodo Shinshu service book.
The Buddha of infinite light and life made vows to embrace all beings equally without exception. These vows promise to create a perfect world where no suffering or evil exists and guides us to supreme awakening. The Sambutsuge, or hymn in praise of Buddha, is a poem from the larger Pure Land Sutra in which Amida Buddha, as a bodhisattva, praises his teacher and makes his 48 vows to establish the Pure Land of enlightenment for the welfare and happiness of all beings. We chant the words of the Buddha as a reminder of these great vows made to awaken and to liberate us all. The hymn in praise of Buddha. しうぶ薬船の万無料大小主日語者供養一切使徒諸仏分用無道検証分薬非日語者諸仏仙外部不影無主節道公明師匠変師匠国行税精進異人難用両が差仏国土第一五種金如道場超絶国如内音ニムトソガト愛民道達二祭十法大書新年少女一等学国下落安穏国仏神妙税が神書法願の日力少々欲十法生存知恵無下上領子孫知が信用下領心子食毒中が行精進年中不下ナマンナブナマンナムナマンナムナマンナムナマンナムナマンナブがんにしんどく病のせいさいどうほんもないしんおうじょうあんあごナマンナブナマンナブナマンナブナマンナブナマンナブナマンナブナマンナブナマンナブナマンナブナマンナブナマンナ
Please rise for singing of the Gatha Namo Amida Butsu. Words can be found on the handouts and on the screen.
When life is fair and sunlight gilds the day, when fortune smiles and flowers
You may be seated. Our guest speaker today, Reverend David Fujimoto, is a good friend and colleague of Reverend Blaine's. He's also a familiar face at this temple because during the period when we did not have a resident minister, he came to our assistance many times, for which we are very, very grateful. Reverend David does not like frilly introductions, so I'll keep it simple. He is a Farrington High School graduate, received a BA degree in psychology from UH Manoa, and obtained his master's in Buddhist studies from the Institute of Buddhist Studies in Berkeley, California. From 2007 through 2011, he received his Tokudo, Kyoshi, and Kai Kyoshi. He served as associate minister at Hilo Betsuin. He has been resident minister at Puna Honganji while overseeing Pahala and Naalehu Honganjis, at Mililani Honganji while overseeing Eva Honganji, and is currently resident minister of Mo'iliili Honganji while still overseeing Eva Honganji. He has 5 Reiki principles to live by just for today. First, A, no worries. 2, never mind being all mad. 3, be grateful, huh? 4, brother, work hard and pono. 5, you gotta respect everybody, including yourself. Please give a warm welcoming aloha to Reverend David Fujimoto.
Please join me in a moment of reflection with your palms put together for an open reflection and devotion. From the Ojo Rai Song, or Liturgy for Birth, by Pure Land Master Shantao. You just got to imagine it. I take refuge in the Buddha of light, outshining the sun and moon in the western land of utmost bliss. I take refuge in Amida Buddha in the western world of utmost bliss. May the Buddha enfold and protect me with compassion and let me multiply the seeds of the Dharma in this life and in the life to come. May the Buddha always embrace me. Namo Amida Butsu. Oh, there stay. Okay. Well, good morning, everyone. Like was mentioned, it's great to be here. You know, with my profile, you know, mine is not as illustrious as Reverend Blaine's. Mine is boring, and that's why I kind of shorten it, because I don't want to I don't want to bore you guys. And the other side of that too is I was working on it one day, and my niece comes up. She looks in my monitor. She goes, "Uncle, you're such a nerd." So okay, delete. That's why I just get the short stuff. And so, yeah, that's what you hear, okay? And so, yeah, like was mentioned, you know, Reverend Blaine and I, we go back for quite a while. He's older, of course, but I'm the one with the reading glasses and can't remember stuff, you know, and all that. But yeah, he's been a great mentor. Recently, nowadays, I don't like to receive emails or his phone calls, because I know he's up to no good, asking me to do something, and it's hard to tell him no, so I just don't reply back. So now you know why. But it's great to see all of you guys again. Grateful for this opportunity to see all of you as fellow travelers of the Dharma. Thank you for attending this service. Thank you, Reverend Higa, for giving me this opportunity. See, I'm getting so old. Thank you, Linda. See, don't get my age, okay? Because it's just all downhill from here. But you know, we're turning 50 this year, so that much closer to retirement. My wife is already looking forward because she says, "Oh, we can go shopping at Ross. Oh, we can go shopping at Don Quixote because you're going to get discount." But in actuality, I enjoy going to meals with her because she has this little magical card that says, A, treat me like a child or a senior because I eat like one. So date nights are so cheap, it's amazing. And of course, I have to pay for it, so it's even better. Okay? For first off, in all seriousness, to all of you who are observing Hatsubong this year, my deepest condolences to all of you, and may you always find comfort in Amida Buddha's infinite wisdom and incomprehensible compassion. As many of you know, or as was mentioned, I'm at Moilili Honganji, and it's just been a little over a year and a half, and it's been quite an experience. For those of, okay, how many of you guys don't know where it is? Okay, good, I'm glad you asked. I'm glad I asked. So it's in the middle of the city, right by University of Hawaii Manoa. We're going through a lot of redevelopment, so if you ever pass by the temple and see a homeless person, it might be me actually. But it's in the city, but what's interesting is the people there have kind of like this country mentality, and it's not a bad thing, okay? It's not a bad thing, but it's kind of a culture shock, even though I lived in Pune, and even for my wife, it's still a culture shock. For her, taking her out of Pahoa, that's just a whole different story. I got scoldings. One day the electricity went out. Okay, I got scoldings because you're not supposed to flush the toilet, right? If you guys have ever lived water catchment system, you know you're not supposed to flush the toilet when don't have electricity because not going to have water in. So I got good scoldings. I looked at her, are you crazy? Why? She goes, there's no water. I said, we're not living water catchment. So, it's been quite a different experience for her. Last year, our dog, our oldest dog, passed away and went into the Pure Land, and was very devastating for my wife and I. Slowly as the members found out, they brought over flowers. They left condolence cards, and like everybody knows, I enjoy Starbucks and I enjoy Pepsi, right? So Starbucks cars, bottles of Pepsi all over the place. And it was this weird feeling because you really don't see that kind of stuff anymore. So it was a very interesting attitude that my members had. Like I said, much of what we don't see today. Today, even this morning, my wife was scolding me because we have just so many fresh fruits and vegetables and food. We had to buy another refrigerator because that's how much food we have just for the two of us. And what it boils down to is just this great feeling of appreciation and gratitude that the members took the time to bring food over, even though I'm trying to lose weight. I think since the last time I saw you guys, I lost like 60 pounds, but I'm slowly gaining it back because of them. I forgot where I stay now. Oh, yeah. So, there's so many fresh fruits, vegetables, and food like that. We bought a brand new set of pans, and I think in the year and a half, I think I only used it like 4 or 5 times. And so it's like holding up space in the cupboards, and my wife is saying, we should just get rid of it. I said, yeah, I know we should. But, at the same time, the experiences that I have been experiencing at Moilili Honganji is kind of interesting. There's a lot of things that I've never seen before. One of them is this service we call Bong Mairi. Have you guys ever been to Bong Mairi? It's this service that, not necessarily Hatsubong, not necessarily Bong service. It's this Bong Mairi, right? So for weeks and weeks and weeks, I was pondering, what is this service supposed to be about? Because this is going to be my very first one, right? And so, I had to admit, I didn't know what to do because 15 years, Today it makes 15 years. Can you believe I became a minister? And so for the first time in my 15 years, I have to do this Bon Mighty service. So in my thinking, I'm thinking, okay, in Japanese, mighty is to visit, right? Okay, so who's visiting? Are our ancestors the one visiting? Is it we visiting? You know, if it's us, who are we visiting, right? Who is this Bon Mighty even for? And so is it for our loved ones? Is it for us? Is it for me? You know, traditionally, right, a lot of times during Obon, especially in Japan, people will travel home, travel back to their own temple to do this mighty, right? So I was supposed to actually go, I flew in this morning, I was actually supposed to go back to Hilo for my own Bon Mighty, but things happened, so I'm gonna come back tomorrow. So anyway, when you think about it, it's really mainly for all of us, right, to visit the temple. This year, just for some strange reason, there was a resounding theme for our Bon services, which was Okaeri, to welcome home. Yeah, for many, it's the only time they come to the temple, or perhaps it's the first time that they've come back since the passing of their loved ones, right? Otherwise known as Hatsubon, right? So in a sense, it's a welcome back home to your spiritual home. After all, we wear our finest clothes. Today is the first time in 2 years that I wore my good silk robes, okay? He's in his green. I still can't get over his green. Okay, like I said, we wear our finest clothes. We bring out the good linen, right? Food is served. There's fellowship, and like I was mentioned, I also oversee Eva Honganji. So we're bound to at least start late because of a baseball game, or there's always conversation about baseball. You know, when you guys came up to offer incense, like Reverend Higa, I'm sitting over here. The ministers come up, hey, hurry up. The Dodgers playing in a little while. Yeah. So it's always an interesting opportunity to have something like this, Bon Mighty service. Our loved ones have been born into the Pure Land, and they have become one with the Buddha, or Buddha themselves. So Bon is a reminder for us to live a life of appreciation and of gratitude for those who have left before us. This is a time for great understanding about ourselves and understanding the Jodo Shinshu teachings in relationship to what we know. So this morning, and I told Reverend Blaine, I'm going to be kind of a nerd this morning because I don't know how other ways to explain my thinking of Bon, but it becomes from a perspective of an existential theorist, AKA him, okay? Him as an existential theorist and a Shinshu minister, and attempt to shed some light on why I think Bon is such a magical time for me, okay? So as lay, or even for us as ministers, we are in this constant battle of what we think our faith is and what really our faith is, okay? Blaine, what is this called? Blaine, what is this called? It's our embedded theology and our deliberative theology. Okay, so the embedded theology includes everything we were taught as children about our faith, to which some we may still believe today, or maybe not believe anymore. To me, this is the root to many of the superstitions that we have or we believe in today. So years ago, there was some research done by some Hawaii Pacific University students that led to the publication of this book. Okay, it's called Integrated Evidence-Based Mental Health Practice in Hawaii. Okay, so researchers found some interesting things about death and about Obon that is tied into some of the superstitions that we believe in today. Okay, So I don't know if you guys can see this, but did you know that it's widely thought that at Bong, you should never take a picture at night? You guys ever heard that? It was felt that if you did, you would capture the spirit of your loved one and not allow them to go back to the Pure Land. Okay? You're not supposed to swim at night because your ancestors travel to this world via the ocean. And if you swim, they're going to drag you back with them to the Pure Land. Never hang up your clothes at night, or your ancestors will latch on to your clothes. And one that I personally agree with, never steal the offerings left on the altar or the graveyard, okay? As ministers, we are not necessarily downplaying it, but we may say something like, well, that doesn't fit in our tradition. But as this existential theorist, we don't sweep it under the rug either. We look at how stories like this will develop into why stories like this keep on getting passed down, right? How many of you, or at least when I grew up, when somebody passed away, would put one sheet over the mirror? Why? How many of you, when somebody passed away, listen to the radio? Oh, wow, you guys modern after all, no? My grandparents must have been just that old. But, it's in something that we had to follow. And if we didn't, we got scoldings. So in a sense, these things give meaning to something that we don't understand. Death, something we don't understand, especially when it comes to the Obon season. This leads to the second theology. Okay? This is what we call deliberative theology. It is the understanding of our faith that comes to the process of careful reflection on our embedded theology, meaning we take all those stories of the spirits and the ghosts and run it through the lens of our own Shinshu faith. And when you really think about it, it takes or requires an honest look at ourselves. It can be difficult, especially since we have to face the unknown. In life, we want to be comfortable and secure in our convictions, but deep down, we all have to be honest with ourselves. That change from our embedded thinking to a deliberate way of thinking requires change. That is another Nembutsu moment in which we change, okay? So I want to introduce you to Captain Saburo Ishikura, who was only 22 years old when he took off from Chirang Air Base in Kagoshima and never came home. A letter was written by his mother to him, in which she says, "Don't forget to say Namo Amida Butsu when you attack with your bomb. This is the last plea from your mother. If you keep this promise, I have nothing to worry about in this life. Don't forget to say Namo Amida Butsu. I will see you in the Pure Land in front of Amida Buddha. This is the deepest desire from your mother. Never forget it. Yours, your mother." Okay? Ishikura was a kamikaze pilot, and on the morning of April 16, 1945, received this letter. I have a feeling that his mother knew what he had to do for his country, and so she had a strong desire for him to be born into the Pure Land and not suffer in what he had to do. So she pleads with him to say Namo Amida Butsu up until the very last moment, with the hopes that they will see each other in the Pure Land once again. How sad, yeah? How sad it must have been to write this letter to her son, knowing that he would not return. Her sorrow is very evident in her letter. It is my understanding that when this letter was discovered, it was closely examined, and if you look at the bottom bottom right here, it reads Haha Yori, right? Yours truly, yours, your mother. She must have had the hardest time writing this because it was the last thing she wrote, to the point that You know, they noticed the indentation in the paper from writing this over and over and over. Okay? Despite the frustration and the headaches of facing the truth of our faith that comes naturally through true reality and in what we come to in appreciation of Namo Amida Butsu, the elusive Nembutsu moment isn't so elusive after all. We therefore live a life of appreciation and gratitude, maybe not right now, but eventually, and not in fear of spirits, of ghosts, of not being embraced in Amida Buddha's incomprehensible wisdom and compassion. How would you feel having to write a letter of farewell to your family? I'm sure she wanted to write more. However, what is prevalent is Namo Amida Butsu as a sense of comfort. We all find a sense of peace and comfort in something. Reverend Blaine goes to Las Vegas, from what I understand. Now that is called faith, yeah. For many, as survivors of, right, this year we're going to be commemorating the ending of World War II, right? So for many of the survivors of Hiroshima, of Nagasaki, and even now of Lahaina, Namo Amida Butsu planted the seeds of healing and brought about a Sangha that is ever more stronger and ever more resilient. When you think about it, life, what is that? For ages, people have pondered that very question. Life is a collection of other lives that come in and out of our own life. Other lives validate our lives and gives it meaning and something to believe in, or you just don't answer telephone calls. At many memorial services, I ask family these questions. Okay? You guys have come. You guys heard the sutra chanting, had the opportunity to come up and offer incense. What's going through your mind? What's going through your heart? What is it telling you? When the MC read the names this morning, what was going through your guys' mind? What were you guys feeling? I saw some of you guys starting to tear. I heard some sniffling. At the same time, I was thinking, oh, poor thing, the organist got to play the same song over and over. You know, so I was wondering, I wonder what's going through her mind. Yeah, what's going through your mind? Oh my God, they're still coming up, right? As for myself, not that, you know, I'm trying to psychoanalyze anybody, but my goal up here, right, is to try and help people find meaning and understand the experience that they're going through. And through the practice and through ritual, we seek to find an end to the fear of the unknown. You know, I was watching some of you guys to come up offer incense, and I know already what you guys were thinking. I better do this correctly, otherwise Reverend Higa going to scold me, right? I know you guys already, because I went through the same thing. I went through mission school, 6th grade graduation, Reverend Nagao. Oh my goodness, no make him mad. You offer incense wrong, you have to start all over again, go back to the front of the temple, come all the way back. If you do it wrong, gotta go back again, right? But for me, there is that sense of appreciation and gratitude. And a lot of us show appreciation and gratitude in different ways, right? So I don't freak out too much, just as long as you do it the right way, right? Not the other way, right? Where the hot charcoal go inside the incense, right? That is wrong, okay? So to me, I think that that is my role. That is my responsibility. So as you leave here today, that's what I want you to take with you. Okay, I think I threw this in. Okay, so through this experience of this service, what are you feeling? Okay, what kind of emotions come up? What are the thoughts that you're having? And as you kind of think about this, tomorrow give Reverend Blaine a call. Tell him everything, okay? Just don't email him. He might not respond the same way I don't, okay? As we reflect on Bong, I believe that in our lives, all of the other lives that come in and out of our life has a role and responsibility. We celebrate the phenomena that we are all a part of, but may not be aware of. We are all a part of a system, whether it's the family system, a social system, a system like here in the temple where you have your BWA, Dharma school. Why are you coughing? Why are you making like that? When I said BW, you always know the BWA president, yeah? Whenever you say BW, it's like she wants you to know. So join BWA so that she doesn't do that. Each person has its role, right? BWA president, resident minister, and each person plays a role to make the system function. Resident minister, BWA president. While it's true that we have our parents, they too play a role that no one else can play. We have our teachers, we have our friends. They all have their significant roles and their responsibilities. So years ago, I had the opportunity to hear the Dalai Lama speak. He just turned 90 years old. And he related our inner relationships by reminding us each day to look at our hands. And never mind sticking finger, okay? So let's kind of look at it, our hands right now, okay? We have our thumb, we have our pinky, pointer, ring finger, our favorite finger that we tell each other that they're number one, right? Each finger, when you really think about it, has its own duty, all working as one to achieve various things that sometimes we take for granted. We are able to hold a pencil to write, hold a fork or a spoon to eat, and of course, like I mentioned, each finger has its responsibility and yet all work into harmony without complaint. Could you imagine if they didn't work together? One finger would be going one way, the other going the other one, middle finger showing to everybody. And of course, it'd be one big mess, one big catastrophe. The bigger picture of this, of course, is the system of the Sangha. For it is where so many of our own personal systems intersect. For in there is where the Buddha lives and where the Dharma comes alive. We can study about the teachings of the Buddha in a book, but it becomes so much meaningful, so much more alive when we're able to practice the teachings. As followers of the Honganji tradition, we acknowledge that we are all fellow travelers of the Nembutsu path, a term often referred to as Ondo Bo Ondo Gyo. I have a hard time saying that, so I'm glad I did it the first time. Through this path, we are able to see how much we truly are alike, how much we are truly interdependent and connected with all things, making other systems flourish and get nurtured. As we see how many cases in the temple members will care for and nurture a young child, how temple members will offer emotional support when families go through difficult times, like a death in their family. For several months now, I'm sure all of you have participated in bon dances. How many of you kind of just look around or just go straight to dancing? Me, I'm the one that's always moseying around. So through all of the smoke of the barbecue, the andagi, which is the most important, the sounds of the taiko drums, have you ever noticed you are not alone? We all dance together, and just for a moment, we escape the world and come together to dance. Dance with joy. That is okage samade. I am who I am because of you, and the other side of that is you are who you are because of me. We dance and celebrate life, our life, that continuing relationship that we have to all those around us and who have gone before us. It gives us the opportunity to ponder all of life's karmic conditions that played out and was just right for us to be here today. Another nerd moment for me, I like to read, but as Reverend Blaine knows, there's one book in particular I've had for 15 years, and I only read the first 11 lines. We had to read it when we were at IBS. I only read the first 11 lines. So I still don't know what's going on in that book, and he's always reminding me about that. But this is one book that I finally did complete after a year and a half. And it talks about the good ancestor. Okay, generations of ancestors have cultivated the world we live in the life that we have, and often paved the way for us. Okay, today we have that opportunity to create and cultivate the world for the present and future generation. So the question and goals become, how do I become a good ancestor in this lifetime? How do we nurture Reverend Blaine so that he can become bishop in the future? Today, okay? I know what he's going to tell me already, so I'm going to run away after this. So, last year at this time, my family and I said goodbye to our Auntie Linda. Not this Auntie Linda, but my Auntie Linda. It was a beautiful transition as she took her last breath. We talked about her life. We talked about how she's influenced so many children and how she was just full of aloha. As I look back, it was such a special Ichigo Ichie moment. This moment will never come about ever again. So what makes Bon so special are joyful moments like this, that in which we can reflect back to the lives of those who have gone before us, and remember we are nurturing links between them, for the past, the present, and for the future Blaine. The concept of a good ancestor and of being part of a system reminds us that how we live in each moment is the best way to honor those who have gone before us, while nurturing the present and not only setting us up, but other people in this world today. Like I mentioned, as a minister, I try to help people find meaning and understanding through the experiences that they are going through practice and ritual and all that, and help to seek them find this answer so that they don't fear the unknown. In whatever way you want to deal or define with what we do, the ritualistic dancing of joy is not only in remembrance of our loved ones, but we also dance for ourselves in deep appreciation and gratitude for our loved ones who have gone before us. And when we come to that understanding, we definitely do find meaning and truly have an experience that leads us to awaken to the Dharma inside of all of us. Through the Dharma, we come to understand that Obon is a moment in which we remember the boundless reality that all those who have left us are one with infinite wisdom and compassion, and continues to embrace us each and every day. In that sense, like the mourning period, that process that all of us go through, the moment of sadness turns into one of deep appreciation and of gratitude for their lives that has been shared with all of us. And through that selfless giving, selfless nature of love and nurturing that has brought upon us the sense of gratitude for all of us and the joy that we can appreciate for in this life. And it is in that moment that we continue to tell the stories of our loved ones in the hopes that their story will nurture and inspire those who we are surrounded by and those who will come into the future. A few years ago, my parents and I went to Kauai for a swim meet. We decided, or at least my father decided, that he wanted to go to see where his father grew up. And so he did some research, asked around, and we went on this little sightseeing thing. And when we got there, my father was a little disappointed. That's all we saw. It was just barren land now. The people around have all left and made this barren land the place that they once called home. There was a lot of wondering on what was going on. I wonder where this was. I wonder what this was over there. I wonder where his house was. But the more I thought about it, through the stories that was told not only by my grandfather, but by my father, it lives inside of all of us. For me, it was a special trip one that probably will never happen again. I don't think I want to go back there. Still, it was great to be in the area that my grandfather called home and was born in. Inside of my obutsudang, and I know we shouldn't be doing things like this, but there's a little rock that I took. I asked permission first, okay? Can I please take this rock? And I took it home and I placed it into my obutsudang. And every morning as I start my day in front of the obutsudang, I look at this pebble, this rock, and it reminds me of my connection that I still have with those who have come before me as a family system, and at the same time, it's a reminder of the connection to the inner workings of infinite wisdom and compassion. That is an immense system that we call the Nembutsu, as it continues to be an influence to my life, and it has the system that is a dynamic system that is nurturing all of us each and every single day in this unrepeatable moment. At Bon, we celebrate the uniqueness of all of our lives. We take the time in our busy life to reflect on life and appreciate all that we have. We will live this life only once, and so we should live each day to its fullest and enjoy what it offers. Life won't always offer us happiness, but we should be grateful to the happy times, the sad times. After all, that is what we call life. Another part of Obon, or the Obon season at Moilili, is to do a graveyard service at the community graveyard. And it's come up in the news a lot recently because of the vandalism that has been going on. Right now, they're trying to catalog the damage and what's missing. And so there are a lot of headstones that are missing or broken, a lot of urns that are missing, a lot of urns that we're now keeping at the temple because we cannot find relatives, so we're keeping it for safekeeping. So one of the gravestones has this inscribed. It says, Kue Isho. Yeah? It's the compassionate teachings in the Amida Sutra that, in which it says, the one place where we will all meet together once again. Okay? This place is called the Pure Land, meaning that all of us will one day meet in this place called the Pure Land. Kue Isho is the words at least from the theological standpoint, reveals to us how when we entrust ourselves to Amida Buddha's vow and aspire for birth into the Pure Land, we will all meet together in the world of enlightenment. In our tradition, it is customary to inscribe Kue Isho on headstones as a reminder of the sacred promise fulfilled by Amida Buddha's great compassionate vow. This is why when we say Namo Amida Butsu, we experience Kue Isho each time, for we have that opportunity to meet our loved ones in the working of great infinite wisdom and compassion that nurtures of our lives. So I had this conversation with Reverend Blaine not too long ago. Okay, so let's do another exercise here, okay? Let's take a look at this picture, okay? What do you see in this picture? Let's think back to what we know about the Pure Land, okay? Which way is compassion going as represented by the hearts? Is it from our loved ones to us, or is it from us to our loved ones? There are many ways of looking at this picture. If you consider the various size of the hearts, as they grow larger towards the girl, then it could be coming from our loved ones. Another way of looking at it is as the hearts grow smaller, it could be our love going to our loved ones. The ambiguity of the hearts, I believe, is the point to this whole picture and the heart of the Nembutsu. The sending of love is always multi-directional, and its inner working is the point of Namo Amida Butsu. Today, it may feel like we are sending our loved ones, sending our love to our loved ones, but also let us not forget, it's also coming back through us, through Namo Amida Butsu. Today, as all of you come to celebrate or commemorate Bong, it may feel like our recitation of Namo Amida Butsu may feel one way, but our appreciation and gratitude is also being returned to us through the response of Amida Buddha's Namo Amida Butsu as heard by us. It may seem confusing now, but that call is a response is happening each time we recite Namo Amida Butsu. That is why Amida's compassion is called incomprehensible. Compassion that is so great that we as sentient beings cannot and do not understand it. So I hope all of this didn't confuse you. If not, call Reverend Blaine tomorrow. But I hope it puts at least a little thing, something inside of you. And that is, Bong is a time of introspection, a time to look at ourselves as a larger collective that we called life, or we also called Sangha. And as I mentioned to you before, you may feel alone today, but look around you. Then you'll start to see you are not alone. All of us are here to support one another, and that is the true meaning of the Sangha. Without the Sangha, the Buddha and the Dharma cannot and will not exist. Life is filled with so many moments. We just have to take that time to reflect. Just like this picture, remember we are always embraced with love that is being both received and being sent. So let us take a deeper look at what we think our faith is and reflect on the lens of Amida Buddha's wisdom and compassion and live together a life in Namo Amida Butsu with appreciation and gratitude for the life that we have because of the people that have gone before us. So to end, I'd like to kind of put this into a little bit more perspective. So please join me in a moment of reflection and devotion. O moon, moon that shines so bright, please send this message far so all will know that they are loved no matter where they are. My love will always be with you. Each night, just look up at the moon and know my love is true. I know you're missing me right now, but don't be sad. I need you to be strong for me, for one day together we'll be together once again. Tonight, just look up at the moon. I'm staring at it too. I've put a special message there. It's beaming, I love you. Please don't be sad. If you feel alone tonight, look up and think of this. Each moonbeam shining down on you is just like a kiss. If you start to feel afraid, look up and you will see a message written in the moon, a love note sent from me. It may seem hard to live this life so far away. You wish I was right next door. You may miss the giggles, the hugs. I miss you even more. But we're all connected by the moon. Just look at it and smile, for I will do the same. I love you so. I know you're missing all of us. I know sometimes you're sad. Please read my message in the moon. I hope it makes you feel glad. Hi, why are you so sad? I love you. Please don't cry. Wait till it's dark, then go outside and look up in the sky. You'll see that great big moon up there. Each moonbeam holds my heart. It's shining down on you each night that we're apart. I need for you to know each night when you stare at the moon, my love is in its glow. Remember when you feel alone, my love is always there. You'll find it in the moon up above, reminding you that I care. I cannot see you, but I can feel you are here. And when I look up at the moon, it all becomes so very clear. Your love is all around me, and it will always be. The moon reminds me every night just how much you love me. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you so much for your Dharma message, Reverend David. Right now, Dharma school student Kira Nishihara Estrada will now lead us in unison reading of our pledge. Please join her. Words can be found on the handouts and on the screen.
Our pledge. Reaching out to others, I will share a smile and gentle words, just like the Buddha, who always calls out with aloha. Breaking away from my greed, anger, and ignorance, I will try to live in peace and harmony, just like the Buddha, who shares tranquility and kindness with all. Moving forward from self-centeredness, I will share a life of joy and sorrow with others, just like the Buddha, whose caring heart always embraces us. Realizing that I live because of others, I will strive to live life to the fullest with an attitude of gratitude, just like the Buddha, who promises to embrace us all. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu.
Thank you, Kira. We will now have the offertory presentation. Mahalo for your generosity, everyone. Please rise and we will conclude this service with singing of the Gatha Nembutsu.
Namandab, 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 namandab.
You may be seated. This concludes today's Obon family service. Here are some announcements. Upcoming schedule of services, events, and reminders. The Konohonganji Bon Dance and Craft Fair is this Saturday, July 26th. There'll be lots of Ono food and awesome crafts booths. The evening will start with Hatsubon service at 4 p.m. for those families who have RSVP'd. The craft and food vendors will open at 5 p.m. and Bon Dance will start at 6 p.m. Lots of volunteer help will be needed, such as setup and cleanup. Please read the July Jiho and Reverend Blaine's weekly email for details. Mahalo to those of you who have already signed up to help. There will be one last Bon Dance practice on Thursday, July 24th at 7:30 p.m. in the social hall. There will be no Sunday service on July 27th. There will be two events on Sunday, August 3rd. First, Obon service will be held at the Holualoa Temple at 10 a.m. The guest speaker will be Reverend Dr. Enrique Galvan Alvarez from the UK. There will be no morning service here at this temple that day. Then from 4 to 5:30 p.m., a Buddhist Study Center satellite seminar will be held right here at the temple. In-person guest speaker will be Reverend Dr. Enrique Galvan Alvarez. His topic will be about the white path in relation to grief. Please make every effort to register and attend this session. Sunday, August 10th, the Hiroshima Remembrance Service will be held at 10 a.m., sponsored by the Kona Hiroshima Kenjinkai. Guest speaker will be Ms. Mei Kobayashi, a student at Hiroshima Kokutaiji High School. The BWA will be conducting 2 major projects for which they would be very grateful for any help you can provide. First, manju making. Prepping on balls will be Thursday, July 24th at 1 p.m. Manju making will be on Friday, July 25th, starting at 8 a.m. in the temple kitchen. The manju will be sold at the upcoming Bon Dance. Second, rummage sale on August 9th from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. in the social hall. They will be happy to accept gently used clean clothing, household items, toys, books, plants, small furniture, and working appliances. Drop-off dates are Wednesday, August 6th and Thursday, August 7th from 8:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. in the social hall. Any other announcements, Reverend Blaine?
Yes, I just want to thank everybody for coming out to our Obon service today, and we look forward to seeing you next week, actually later on this weekend, for our Bon Dance. A lot of hands are needed, so please come out and help if you can. And also just come and enjoy this time of fellowship, enjoy this time of community, enjoy this time of celebrating our ancestors and our connection with them. Again, big mahalo to my good friend, Reverend David Fujimoto, another Mo'ili'ili person. Yeah, but we've been having a lot of Mo'ili'ili people coming by, yeah, so. You can try hide, but I will always find you, yeah? And you know what? I don't know how you're getting to the airport today. So, but yeah, again, thank you very much for sharing the Dharma and being here and joining us here at Kono Hongaji. It's always good to see you. So.
Thank you, Reverend Blaine. Any other announcements? Anyone else? Or thank you again, Reverend David, for being our guest speaker. Refreshments will be served in the social hall. Mahalo to Linda Nagai, Wendy Terada, Lynn Guzman, and others who brought their goodies to share. Thank you for joining us, and we hope to see you all at Saturday's Bon Dance. Mahalo.
Oh, sorry, one more thing before we leave. I just want to take note, thank you to Morris and Nagata always for all the fruit offering, the osanae. These are mountain apple, thank you. Also, the beautiful flower arrangements were made and arranged by Joni Fujino. So, special for our Obon season. So.